Ron Harris here from MuscularDevelopment.com. Coverage of the 2021 Arnold Classic brought to you by High-Tech Pharmaceuticals here in Columbus, Ohio with Milos the Mind Sarcev. We just wrapped up judging of all 4 divisions, not 11 divisions or 20 as usual, just 4 this time. We're going to start with the big boys, open men. That's what most of you guys want to hear about. So the first call out was, no surprise here, Nick Walker, Steve Kuklo, Ian Valliere. And it was a little surprise. Justin Rodriguez. Justin, I owe you an apology, man. Yeah. I didn't have you in any of my previews as one of the top front runners, but there you were today up there in the very first call out. Justin kept doing this, like it was like a secret that he was so good. But were you surprised at that first call out? Was that pretty much what you thought it was going to be?
Well, we thought that Akeem Williams is going to be in that call out. And in the preview that I mentioned, we don't know which Akeem is going to show up. If his conditioning was spot on, I think that he would give everybody hell for the title run, but let me tell you, Nick Walker made a believer out of me. I was saying a couple of things that maybe he doesn't have this aesthetics to really match the top guys that would be like so much more aesthetically pleasing, but with the size that he brought conditioning, he created like Jay Cutler 2009 version of when he came back to take a title away from Dexter. Even if his waist was not super small, the shoulders were so wide that now created that V-taper and aesthetics. And Nick Walker, I mean, for me, he won this show fair and square. There is no doubt, as far as I'm concerned. I already congratulated him. And I told him, like, listen, I apologize. You made a believer out of me because I've seen that potential, but there was some things that I didn't really particularly like. But now when you see him pose by pose, and let me tell you this, when you look all the mandatory poses, I think that he won pretty much everyone, but it could be that Steve could match him from the side chest and side triceps, but those are also super strong poses of Nick Walker, okay? When they turn around, back double biceps, and last spread was going to Nick. Yeah. Abs, for sure, because Steve had a shallow abs, so this was not really there. Most Muscular could go either way, but I still think that Nick pretty much beat him in every single pose.
Do you think Nick, as big as Steve is, Nick just really overwhelmed him? He's just so thick.
So you tell me, if Steve is 285 and somebody next to him make him small, what does it tell you? I mean, Nick is a legitimate freak, but he brought that aesthetic because of super deep abs. He created a little bit that illusion of more aesthetic, and just standing there relaxed with the deep abs. What I always say to everybody, this is center of the body, 6 little muscles, and attention is right there. If you glance at the stage, you're gonna first look at with the 6-pack, if you're showing it. So yeah, for me, Nick fair and square won the show. Steve was improved from Texas in conditioning wise, but it was kind of getting flattish. Obviously, he was going for condition, so he didn't have that fullness. And if you would work, the poses, you could get actually fuller. He was actually getting a little bit flatter. So there was not much happening in the abs department, and that cost him. Chest, shoulders, arms, everything is there. Legs, oh my God, calves, oh my God. But he was solid second.
Yeah. So you were in Texas. Ian Valliere looked crazy in Texas.
Yes.
I wasn't there, so I couldn't really compare. But to me, he looked maybe a little flatter here today.
Yeah, I think that Ian went for conditioning, and I understand that call. Look, he won both shows previously. He beat everybody, here before except Nick. First time they're facing each other. So he was making sure that he is in super condition, and that cost him maybe a little bit of fullness. It was, good old Ian Valliere's physique, just like maybe not as impressive as you would expect it. So in this kind of lineup, just a little tad off in whichever particular direction, conditioning-wise, fullness-wise, something can cost you. But he's definitely in the running for a 3rd place. I think it's between him and Justin Rodriguez. As you apologize also to Justin, I mean, he's another Dominican dominator, right? With this crazy upper body, front and back double biceps. Legs were a little bit still outside, so he's top heavy. And and then conditioning was fair conditioning, but there was that I just wish for a little bit more. So it's definitely third and fourth between Ian and Justin, with fifth and sixth going obviously to Akeem and Sergio. So initially when I seen Sergio, like, wow, yeah, he impressed me. I thought, like, wow, he's going to be in the first call out. This is how I actually saw it. But then, as they didn't call him for that first call out, and I know how psychology of the guys when you're not a front runner immediately. I mean, God knows what happens. You know that you start losing it from the confidence to the some hormones that can make you cold water, right? And so Akeem is Akeem, big monster with the crazy legs, crazy arms, but conditioning was slightly off. So fifth and sixth would go between Sergio and Akeem.
Sergio to me looked bigger than he did last year, but the condition wasn't quite as sharp.
Yeah, he is definitely bigger. You see, the way I saw him as soon as he stepped on the stage, he was kind of sharper, especially like legs. And then I seen him fading. Yeah, when he did that first introductory, first five competitors. Yeah, he was for me like, whoa, Sergio is improved. Then by the time they came for a comparison, there was not exactly the same. So, film of water, and he's fuller. Side chest was maybe, the pose that him and Chris were so particular about, to look full, to look round, and he accomplished that. But conditioning was just, let's say 80%, not 100.
I want to give credit to someone that I believe you worked with, Mohammed Al Alam.
Yes.
Because to me, he looked awesome at Indy Pro, and then to me, he was looking worse and worse at every show. And today, he turned it around. He was looking better again.
Yes, I mean, look, he is from Russia, so he was traveling from here back to Egypt, back to Russia. He catch the cold, so he was like off a few days. Unfortunately, then he came back here. Too much traveling, but we just went. What I do normally, first show, just play it safe. Just try to not try to push anything. I pretty much didn't even carry him up. I just say, like, let go for a little bit sharper look. You have enough muscles. I think he's solid seventh after the prejudging. There are a few poses you can work on, but you can see that quality muscles. Something that we like. Striated shoulders, striated chest, crazy back. I don't know if you've seen his calves. Like, oh, Jesus, giant. Yeah. So yeah, he has all the potential. Unfortunately, he's from Russia, doesn't have many sponsors, so it's hard for him to pay for all the traveling. This was a paid travels, thank God. And I would say this, if this is even possible, he has 15 points for Olympia qualification, and there is belief that the guy ahead of him from Ukraine, Suruchko might not get the visa.
Oh, wow.
So that would be good if Suruchko is watching, and if you are definitely not coming, if you can say that, because maybe there is a potential that he could be invited for the Olympia.
I will find out Monday, because I'm doing a run line with Vlad Suruchko.
Oh, beautiful. And Vlad, unbelievable physique. I love his physique. His potential out of this world. But in case he cannot travel, he cannot not get visa.
They would let Mohammed take it?
I don't know, but there is argument that if you're going to let 3 people qualify by points and one can travel, then the next person should be invited.
Before we talk about Max Charles, I have to apologize again. I forgot to mention Sung Chul Lee from South Korea in my previews very much, and he's getting better every time I see him. He's on his way to a top spot.
Yes, I'm embarrassed because we didn't mention him also, and I'm a big fan of, Sung Chul Lee. I mean, I'm a really big fan. I think rightfully they were going for conditioning here, so to maybe deplete him a little bit, and he did look a little bit smaller than he normally does, so it was not to look favored by judges today, and he still needs to get a little bit wider. He's that thickly muscle, round chest, round shoulders, right? Yeah, but he needs a little bit more width. So working on, lat width and creating more X frame and V taper. So I must say this, because with Max, he told me that for this show he wanted to try something on his own, that he believed it. Oh. Because he just says, look, coach, I want to try it. And so okay, I supported because he knows his body very well, and there's certain things that we did repeat great conditioning 6 times, but he wanted to changed a couple of things, like not take diuretics whatsoever.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, there's of course.
admirable.
Yeah. I'm you know, a huge fan of his physique and his coach and a friend. And I agree, okay, if this is what you want, you know, so let's see, try it. So for me, he was slightly off, and you know, legs. He didn't control the legs as much as I was hoping, because like even day before I was checking on him every day. He did pop them out, and now on the stage just one there. But yeah.
To me, what he needs more of, and I don't know why people have been talking about his back shot. So I really took a good look at his back today. I think he needs to fill in that mid back a little more. It's kind of a gap compared. Someone like a Nick Walker has so much bulky mass right in the middle of his back. I'd love to see more of that on Max.
Yeah, I mean, Max is a genetic wonder. If you really know how little he eats and how little supplements he takes,
We'd all get very upset.
Yeah, but yeah, you know, it's you know, for me, I would just say regroup and come back again better than ever, because he was making improvements, and I thought he had the momentum going, and to my surprise, he did tell me like, okay, he would like to try something on his own. I said, okay, so you have my full support.
Last but not least, big man who's done every damn show this year almost, Hassan Mustafa. Man, Hassan, I think he needs to just rest. His body is looking, I don't think he can get the condition right now. His body's, to me, it looks like his body's saying, nope, we're done. We're not going to do this anymore.
Yeah, kind of. I agree with you completely, but he's qualified for the Olympia, so it would be, you know, shame not to compete. So I understand he would compete. Like I said in some other interview, what I would do with him, I would lock him up in a jail and not give him any carbs to eat, you know, for 2 weeks. Yeah, and just you know, if this is last hooray for this year, just you know, try to come you know, super lean, because he has all the muscle, you know, so he doesn't need to think of the fullness, thickness, roundness. It's all there. So he just needs to bring condition.
Yeah, I mean, those legs, I don't know if anyone in the world has legs bigger than that. Maybe Rami, if you put a tape measure around them. But if they were all sliced and diced and detailed, it would be the freakiest legs of all time.
Yeah, it is among, he's in a really balanced shape there, and lateralis, medialis, everything is there. So you can only imagine if you have a razor cuts, you know, what would that look like?
Then he'd be the Egyptian Tom Platz. All right, let's go to classic physique. Top two, it looks like it's going to be the same top two as last year. Not sure what order it's going to be. Last year, Alex Cambronero beat Terrence Ruffin. Looks to me like it might be the other way around this year. Looks like Terrence might edge him out.
Well, listen, of course, I'm always very much open-minded. So first thing that I said, that if you want to define classic, you put the picture of a Chris Bumstead, and right next to him, Logan Franklin. So I'm coaching Logan, so of course they always say, Milos, you're biased. For me, I was going to actually, you know, say it loudly when he was on stage, define what is classic, because...
Good thing you didn't.
Yeah, but for me, you know, I'm a big fan of Logan. For me, he really had that classic look. But judging positions, it looks like Terrence and Alex were put in first and second place with, you know, God knows Logan to the right. So it looks like it's between Alex and Terrence. Terrence is second at Olympia.
Yeah.
And he was in good condition, great condition from the back, but so was Alex. Alex was very dry from the back. A great V taper. So I wouldn't be surprised. It's like a point here, a point there. That they're going to have to work them tonight. I just hope they're going to, you know, put Logan right next to him. And this was okay. If it's even a two-man show, just have a sidekick to the side and let him just be seen. Obviously, if top two guys are better, they're going to prove it in the comparison. But you know, take a look again. This is the only thing that I would like to say.
Logan, I apologize. I didn't have you in my top three predictions. You might end up third place. You look phenomenal, kid. Courage Apara. Nobody, you know, he's quiet. Nobody really knows about him, even though he's only done this show twice and he was third place in 2018 and 2019. He could very well be third place again. Fantastic physique. He used to be a lot more bottom heavy.
Yeah.
Upper body's.
Yeah, he balanced it out.
It's balanced out a lot better than it was.
Yeah. And he has everything. He was in good condition. Yeah, like you said, improved the upper body with the width and thickness. So now, as a picture, he looks very good. But he's still not, what I want to say, wide enough for a classic. Because first thing when you think about a classic is structure. That has to be the V-taper and X-frame. So he didn't have that beautiful physique. So there are many other guys. Brian Jones that we talk about, okay, this was question how the judge is going to take him. And leading into the show, we saw some pictures and looked like a freak, right? I think you also...
I had him winning because of Instagram. I had him winning.
Yeah. But condition was slightly off from what you've seen, and judges recognized that and put him right away there to the fifth. I want to mention about the newcomer to the IBB, Peter Molnar from Hungary. He competed in all the other federations, finally went to IBB, won his first pro show in Romania and qualified for Olympia, so we're going to see him at Olympia too. Great physique, yeah, he's still top heavy, bottom light. His legs need to be a little bit bigger, a little bit, more sweep to be competitive. Great condition, great aesthetics. So I'm rooting for him too because he's a friend of mine.
And another San Diego guy, originally from Iraq, Danny Union looks fantastic.
Danny Union, yes. Yeah. I'm also a fan of Danny Union's physique. But even yesterday when we talk about it, it comes to the point where you have to clarify. You want a more bodybuilding look-alike, or you want a more classic physique look-alike. So just like Brian, we had a Keon before, and we had George Peterson competing in a classic, and then they realized there's a little bit too much bulk here. Yeah, we can make the cut. We can have a height and weight differential and make the cut, but do you really look that classic? So on that note, I really want to see what the judges are looking for. But if Chris Bumstead is perfect example, paragon of what the classic physique should look like, then Logan Franklin is right there next to him. And as Logan said, he's still not there. He's using a hashtag closing the gap, right? Because he recognized Chris is a champ, but he's working on, coming, to battle him next year.
I like Logan's new nickname. What was he calling himself before? The Future? He had another nickname.
I don't know the other nickname.
But his new nickname doesn't matter. The new nickname is better. It's the Texas Oak. Because he's a huge Arnold fan. He hits a lot of Arnold poses.
I said he does Arnold poses better than Arnold.
yeah, he does, actually.
Yeah, really, he is such a perfectionist in posing. And that's, I'm hoping for, it's going to be Terrence and him battling for this Best Poser Award. And I have a great confidence that as good as Terrence is, there is that little extra specific, polished, not just going into transitions, but choosing the right poses, choosing a right sequence of the poses. Because if you hit the 10 great poses, but you don't connect them just right, it's different. Then angles, facial expressions, where you look, the energy that you put. I think Logan, if you've seen that posing routine from Texas, if you did, that's perfection. I didn't see a single mistake.
It was such a good routine that because they messed up his music or something the first day, they let him come back. It was a 2-day show, right?
Yeah, there was 2-day show. Yeah,
they let him come back the next night and do it on the Saturday night, which was unheard of.
Yeah.
But I think, was there anyone else in Classic we want to mention?
Okay, let's see.
Let's see. There's only 10 guys in the shows. Tony Tavares looked really good. Everybody looked good. It was only Fabian Mayer from Austria. It's only 10 guys.
He was very good as well. I think the lineup was very, very good.
Very strong.
So when you have 10 guys competing, somebody has to be first, somebody has to be the 10th. This is how I've been there many times competing in 90s with all these guys, and then I would place, God knows where. But then when you look at who is ahead of me, I take my hat off, and it's great. This is Arnold Classic. Just being on the stage is by invitation only. So you have to earn the invitation, and they saw them worth it. They invited and they presented. I think that everybody was in good condition in a classic physique.
Yeah. Well, guys, that wraps up judging. Not day one of the X. It's only one day. I love it. Judging of the 2021 Arnold Classic. Our coverage brought to you by High Tech Pharmaceuticals. Go to musculardevelopment.com. We're going to have awesome high-resolution images taken by this man behind the camera, Hector Mendoza. Going to be uploaded very, very soon. I think some of them are already up. A lot of them are already up. Go check it out. That's how you can tell, because the stream, it never shows all the detail the way the high-res images do. They just don't. That's why every time I try to judge these shows by the stream, I'm usually way off, because you have to be there or see some really good images. So anyway, thank you, Milos Sarcev. Always a pleasure. Guys, we appreciate your viewership. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We'd appreciate that too. We'll see you tonight. Back for more.
Back for more.
Thanks, man.
Good.